These days, it seems like a lot of men want to be miserable. They consciously choose misery. And I reached this conclusion after seeing so many guys living with problems that are self-created and self-imposed. So in this video, I'm taking a break from the regular Sigma male content and instead, I'm going to give you a practical guide on how to create a miserable existence. I promise you, follow these steps and you will hate your life, probably until your dying day. Let your emotions guide your actions. Whatever you do, don't set goals. Make sure that you don't think hard about your life and never develop an action plan for success. Otherwise, you'll become a high achiever and they're normally happy people. Your goal is misery. So instead of setting goals, think of farm animals and their carefree yet mindless approach to life. Watch how they live by instinct. We can learn from them and apply those lessons to our lives. When you wake up each morning, go through your day without thinking about your actions. Let instinct, emotion, and impulses take the wheel. Abandon routine, embrace chaos. Following on from the last point, you want to avoid productive routines. Switch off your alarm clock and wake up whenever you choose. Don't organize a daily schedule and never push through pain and fatigue to finish a list of tasks. When things start to hurt, give up your routine. Open up Twitter, take a nap, have a beer. Laziness feels really good, so kick back and relax. Tear up your to-do list and forget about your schedule. After all, your duties and obligations will probably work themselves out. Never clean your home. Don't clean your house regularly, otherwise your subconscious mind will feel happy in its environment. When people visit your home, they should see clothes on the floor and mold on the walls. They should be able to smell the cat's litter box. A filthy environment torments your subconscious mind. Therefore, never do any chores. Allow the dishes to pile up and make sure you never do your laundry. This will create subconscious pain, and it's one of the secrets to genuine misery. Be hypersensitive to social slights. Take everything personally and tolerate no disrespect. They're not just insulting you, they're insulting all your ancestors too. You must become hypersensitive to even the slightest sign of disrespect, whether real or imagined. When anybody dares cross you, take revenge and make them pay. Plot and scheme to find a way to hurt them. Take no prisoners. Make sure you never laugh off insults, even ones from idiots. Do not let insults slide. Rather, make threats or resort to violence. These reactions are excellent for misery because they help you make dangerous enemies or land criminal charges. Create lots of distractions while working. To make success literally impossible, you must create an environment that's hostile to real work. So, at the beginning of the workday, I recommend signing into all your social media accounts. Engage with people throughout the day so that you check Instagram and Twitter at least 50 to 100 times before lunch. Of course, don't get me wrong, you want to pretend you're being productive. If your boss glances at you, he should think you're busy. But when each workday is finished, the goal is to have nothing to show for it. Leave everything to destiny. Believe in destiny. Your fate is written in the stars. If you are destined to have a beautiful girlfriend, then one day she'll just come knocking at your door and throw herself at you. And if you're destined to be rich, you'll win the lottery. It's perfectly fine if you're low energy. Whatever you do, don't reach out and take what you want. Allow things to come to you. You attract, you don't chase. Focus on the bad side of people. People are terrible, so only fools find the good in people. Only suckers look at the generosity, goodwill, and love that sustains human society. So never think about those things. If you notice yourself having positive feelings about somebody, immediately switch your focus onto their character flaws. If you set very low standards, you'll never feel betrayed again. Choose to contemplate the cruelest aspects of humanity. Every day, without fail, read about genocide and war. Watch the news and internalize the horror. Trust no one and cut all ties with family and friends. Complain a lot. When people help you out, you don't want to feel too grateful because gratitude leads to feelings of contentment and peace of mind. Blech. Instead, if you want to cultivate true misery, Learn to complain a lot. Complain to anybody who will listen, and if nobody cares, just complain on social media. If possible, connect with other people who love to complain too. You want to surround yourself with people who have a pessimistic mindset. Procrastinate. Remember, important work can always wait. Delay it, postpone it. Never cultivate a sense of urgency. Do the work tomorrow or do it next week. Just never do today what you can do some other time. And when you do have to finally do the work, make sure you do wait until the very last moment to get it done. If possible, stay up all night long doing a month's worth of work in 6 hours. Now that's efficient. Forget about self-improvement. Accept yourself 100% as you are right now. Forget about improving yourself. Character building causes both self-actualization and spiritual growth, whereas your goal is to remain stagnant. Do not build self-discipline, fortitude, or courage, and instead accept yourself unconditionally. Double down on the same flaws that you've had your whole life and carry them right through until old age. After all, everybody is perfect just the way they are. Misrepresent yourself. Why tell the truth? Never be authentic. Instead, pretend to be something you're not, and if you can manage it, convince yourself that you have qualities that you do not actually possess. You can even fabricate stories to back up your claims. In conversation, keep boasting and exaggerating about your achievements. And if it strays, keep bringing the conversation back to your accomplishments, whether real or fabricated. This is great for misery because you'll never make any friends. Focus on things you can't control. A man controls his actions, nothing more and nothing less. Therefore, you never want to scrutinize your actions. Instead, spend your time reading about geopolitics. Also, think a lot about the past, ruminating over ancient events. You can also try getting angry at God because of the nature of life. Just never focus on things like cleaning your house, getting in shape, or developing valuable skills. If you find yourself thinking about things you can control, quickly open up a news site and read about outrageous American politics. Health is overrated. Miserable men such as nihilistic philosophers all drink and smoke. Nothing makes you feel the pain of human existence like a good hangover. So take up a daily boozing and smoking habit. And don't exercise. Definitely don't lift weights and pack on muscle mass. Men feel good when they're physically powerful, therefore you want to create and preserve a weak frame and a flabby physique. And as for diet, stick to processed foods high in fructose, corn syrup, and seed oils. Become a people pleaser. Treat life like a popularity contest. Do everything in your power to please others and gain their approval. When people don't like you, take it to heart and allow it to wreck your self-esteem. Go home and ruminate about it. If somebody excludes you from a group, it means you're unlovable. If somebody makes a snarky comment, internalize it and make it part of your self-perception. You want to become a slave to other people's opinions of you. Sure, most people are idiots, but that doesn't matter. You still need their approval. Don't be one of those weird sigmas, physiologically incapable of caring about social status. They're way too chilled out, way too happy in their own skins. Not nearly miserable enough. Live beyond your means. Carpe diem, seize the day. No, I don't mean that you should do productive work. I mean that you should spend your money today so that you can maximize your pain tomorrow. Therefore, buy those overpriced Uber Eats, especially if you can't afford them. Lease that new car, take out a bank loan, go into debt. One day you might win the lottery, so those debts are probably just temporary anyway. Plus, if misery's your goal, then owing huge amounts of money to the bank is actually a good thing. Paying huge interest rates is fine as long as you eventually go bankrupt. Don't worry about saving money like a Scrooge. Remember, the more you spend today, the more your life will suck tomorrow. Avoid intellectual stimulation. There's real joy in intellectual work. Sigmas, for example, could spend their entire lives studying and expanding their minds. It makes them happy to exercise their intellectual faculties and immerse themselves in creative thinking. God. Therefore, avoid learning new things. Stick to the surface layer of appearances. Don't analyze your life philosophically and don't try to understand the world around you. After all, it's just boring nonsense. Much better to browse Twitter or Instagram instead. Or better yet, turn on the TV and watch CNN. Read Nihilistic philosophy. Philosophy is not good for the mind, but if you must read it, read only the most depressing philosophy on earth. I recommend looking into French socialist atheists like Sartre or Foucault. You want to believe deeply in your bones that life is meaningless, random, and a giant accident. You have no purpose. You have no reason for being alive. You're just a primate on a rock, a clump of atoms, a byproduct of natural selection. You live, you die, end of story. So there you have it, guys, the Sigma Male's practical guide to a miserable life. Men these days seem to love misery, so if that's your goal, just follow these simple steps described in the video and you're guaranteed to live an emotional, grimy, insecure, sensitive, and nihilistic life.